Hi everybody and welcome back to another Beetlenees Plays, and today I'm back on Fernbus Coach Simulator, and it seems to be a bit of a game of the moment, doesn't it, this one? So yeah, back on here, and I thought I would do a little bit of a hints and tips type video and also give my thoughts on what the game is like currently before any patches come along. Just for anybody perhaps that's thinking of getting the game and wondering whether to purchase it or not, and also for people that have got the game and aren't quite sure about a particular aspect, because there are some little quirks in it and things like that which I've been caught out, and it's only because of partly because of you guys out there actually who's put some tips up on the comments, and perhaps not everybody has read those. And I've also sort of learnt stuff myself and found bits and bobs out from different sources. So just thought I'd put them all together, what I've learnt about the game, and just let you guys know. So first of all, just have a quick look at the settings, what I'm using at the moment. So in the game settings, I have reduced my autosave down to 10 minutes. I just think it's a little bit better for me. I mean, it's entirely up to you whether you change that or not. It was set to 15, I think, originally. I just thought 15 minutes was a little bit too far apart. And I've not done any of the sensitivities or anything. I've not inverted my look or whatever. Centre camera when driving, I have unchecked. Didn't like that. I like to have the camera pointing where I want it to point. But again, that's entirely up to you. It doesn't affect the game at all. It's whatever you prefer. Hide steering wheel was already unchecked, but you can check that if you like, if you want to see your steering wheel. Sorry, you can check it if you don't want to see your steering wheel, I should say. And traffic density, I did reduce down to about 65. And to be honest, I found 65 to be a nice level for what I want. Again, it's a bit subjective. Depends what you want out of it, but I just think it gives a nice mixture of, higher density traffic in the towns and cities, but not too much, and then a lesser density when you're out and about on the open road. So that's my settings in the game settings. Graphics wise, not changed anything in there whatsoever, but again, it's entirely up to you if you do change anything. Audio settings, I have reduced my master volume down to 85. And I've reduced the music down to 0, simply because I hate bloody menu music anyway. I can't stand it. It gets on my wick after a bit. Same roll of music repeating over and over again. But also for YouTube as well, because you tend to get copyright strikes sometimes if you've got music playing. So I tend to turn the music off when I'm videoing. Well, like I said, I turned it off anyway because it gets to me after a bit. The ambient temperature, which is basically your sort of your general run-of-the-mill worldly noises, as it were, I've reduced down to 50. Now I did have it down at 30 at one bit, possibly a little bit too quiet. I don't know. We'll see how 50 goes, but I do find 100 definitely is a little bit too much. So. And I couldn't hear the engine noise. That was one of the main reasons why I dropped the ambient noise. When it was raining particularly, all I could hear was rain. I couldn't hear anything else at all. So we'll see how that goes anyway. But have a play about with it and see what you think. Radio, there isn't a radio as far as I know at the moment. Now, Fabian did mention, so if you wanted to call him Sabian, Fabian did mention something about the update on the radio. Didn't really fully understand what he was saying on the video, if I'm honest. He mentioned something about Spotify, which I didn't really understand either. So anyway, we will wait and see when the patch comes out. But anyway, let's accept all that. So let's go back and we will start the game. So we're in here. Now I have actually unlocked all my map. If we go to the map, I started in Amsterdam and I had an area around sort of I can't move the arrow really up there, but you get the idea. It's sort of round down to Brussels, Cologne, up to Bremen, sort of semicircle like that, which I could drive in, but I've now opened it all up and I've got everything available. So, but I did start in Amsterdam, and I'm going to do a short little route today where I'll voice my thoughts on the game in its current state. for anybody that's thinking of buying it, and I will yeah, talk about that then. We'll probably go from I don't know, where shall we go from? I think I was in, yeah, I've not, yeah, I'm in Duisburg, so we'll probably drive to Essen, just a short little run to Essen or something like that, and just have a bit of a chat about my thoughts on the game. So let's get that set up then. So we are going to click on, oh actually, I already did, yes, I forgot I'd already pre-prepared it, so let's click on that. So there we go, we've got that sorted out. Let me get back to my map. I'm trying to zoom out on my map. There we go. So we've already got that sorted out, so we're okay there. I forgot I'd pre-prepared it. And let's go down to next. And now here we've got a choice of arcade or realistic. Now this menu will keep popping up. Every time, actually, if I, you know, why have I never noticed that before as well? Don't show this dialogue again. So let's press Y and let's see if that works then. Because it pops up every single time you change something in the menu. So let's see if that works. I'm going to choose realistic. You can actually change it at the bottom of the screen, which I'll go through in a minute. Now at the top of the screen, we've got the different coaches, which you can use. Now if we look in the MAN section, we're at 1 of 9. And if you look at the bottom left where it says start game, that will say start game if the bus is available, but it will say DLC if the bus isn't available unless you've got the DLC. So if I go through them, you see there we've got buy DLC, so I can't personally use that bus. The second gen I can, the C second gen, the C2 third gen I can't, and I can't the C3 third gen. And I can't use the L third gen, but I can use the Intercity R60. And I can use the R61 and the R62. So there are certain ones that you can't use. I can't use any of the CMCs. The Neoplan, there's only one available, but I can use it. And I do like that coach, actually. The VDLs, I don't think you can use any of the VDLs either. So none of those are available. And the Scania, I don't think any of those are available either. The BB, by the way, at the end, that's the little minibus. So that's only available if you choose the shuttle bus in the previous menu when we were setting up the route. So if you want to use the little minibus, the BB, then choose shuttle bus for that, and you can choose that particular bus. So that's all the coaches at the top. We've then got customize, so you can go down to here and you can customize your coach to your heart's content. You can change the liveries to whatever you like, and you can also change the number plate as well. So that's what you can do there. And on some of the coaches, I don't think it was, is it allowing me to do it on there? You can choose, yeah, there we go. So you can actually choose the colour of the coach as well, and just have it a plain colour if you like. You can choose the bodywork, the roof, any stripes that you want and things like that. So you can customise to your heart's content. And like I say, you can change the number plate as well. So I mean, I would do it, but I just want to get through this this video really without going into any gameplay particularly. I want to get through these hints and tips. So let's back out of that. You've got character there. There's only 3 characters to choose from. You've got an older gent, you've got a lady, and you've got a younger gent, and that's basically your lot. So that's that there. Yeah, I need a different bus actually, don't I, because we can't use that one. So let's go back to there. I'll use that one for now because I can. It's a start game, so I can actually use that one. Now at the bottom we have realistic mode. Now if I click on that, you can now choose between arcade, realistic and customized. So it tells you in the section below what is happening there. So as you can see, if I go to realistic, simple mode to stop at the top, for example, isn't checked, whereas on arcade it is. And as you can see, they are all checked down that list apart from the bottom one. So you have simple driving, simple light control, simple door control, simple everything basically. And it doesn't start from the depot, it starts from the first bus stop that you've chosen. Whereas if you choose realistic, it's kind of the other way around. Everything's unchecked, but you are starting from the depot. And then if you want a mixture of the two, you can then go on to customize and choose whatever you want to do. So let's say you're doing realistic, but you don't want to start from the depot, then you would go to customized and you would uncheck all those that are checked and make sure you check the bottom one to did I say not start from the depot? I can't remember. But anyway, you get the drift. You can basically check and uncheck whatever you want to do, and that's how you do it there. So let's accept realistic anyway, because that's what I tend to use. And along the bottom we have date. So what we can do there is you can either choose your own date, so you can go onto there and you can choose whatever date you like. You can flick through all the months and what have you, or you can choose that icon at the bottom there where the A button is, and if you select that, that actually sets it to the today's date for wherever you're living at the time of the gameplay. So I'm assuming it does that anyway. So I'm in the UK, so it's setting it to the 6th of March. Whereas if you're somewhere else, it may be the day prior or the day after, dependent on where you are in the world, obviously. So go on to the next one, and it's the same here. You can set whatever time of day you want, and you can also set the current time of day. So it's actually 16:23 where I am, and the last one you can choose the weather. So, oops, I've chosen the wrong one there, haven't I? Sorry, I meant to show you that, the weather options, but basically it's all self-explanatory. You've got different weather types. You've got realistic, not realistic, dynamic, and you've got sunny and rain and foggy weather, and it's all self-explanatory, as I said, so you've not really missed anything there. So we'll just wait for this to actually get loaded in. So here we are at the actual coach in the depot, and we will go and have a look inside. So you basically walk up to it. For anybody that's not seen the game before, whatever, we've got the luggage hatches here, which aren't actually activated at the moment because we're not picking anybody up who's got any suitcase. Oh, so sorry, we can actually that one. So if I press the A on that one, then now obviously I'm talking A because I'm on an Xbox here. It would be the X button, I think, isn't it, on the PlayStation? And then you just basically press that button again to close it. Now you can do that from inside the coach as well, which I'll show you in a minute. So anyway, press A to open the door, and we get inside the coach and we sit down with it as well. You can walk around the coach if you like, have a look. You can go and greet all your passengers when you've picked them up and everything. So so there we go. On a lot of the coaches, there's another door. Well, sorry, there is one in this one. I couldn't see it, so I was looking up there. So yes, there's the door down there, so you can actually open that from inside as well, and we can also close it back up again as well. So let's get back in the driver's seat. So press A to sit in the seat, and we have a cross menu here. If you press and hold the A button or the X on the PlayStation, we have this cross menu. So we've got the ignition lock, and we've got the off, and if I move it up that would start the engine, but I'm not going to do that just at the moment. We've then got the different drives, so it's automatic. So you've got D1, D3, D5. Now if you want to choose different ones of these, you have to stop the coach, which seems a bit odd to me. So normally in an automatic car you can select whichever gear you like, but you can't, or whichever drive you like, but you can't. You have to stop the coach and select a different drive, which seems a bit odd. But I just stick it in D1, to be honest. It works fine for me. You've got your reverse gears there. Then here we have lights, and it tells you there, as you can see, it says light or lights would be better really. So or driving lights even. So we have parking lights, dimmed headlight, fog lights for the front and rear fog light there as well. So they're the lights. I'll put my dipped on, and then you've got the high beam, and then we've got indicators, which you can do off the shoulder buttons anyway. We've got hazard warning lights, and you've got your parking brake, I should say, on or off. We have windscreen wipers, 3 speeds, intermittent, and then slow and fast. And then we have the door window, which you can open just get back to that, we can open the window there, look, and we can close it back up again as well. So there we go, and the next one on is the blind. So what we can do there is lower the blind. So if we pull that down, this is all while holding the X button down, by the way, or the A button in my case, and there's the blind has actually come down there, and we can put the blind back up again, just in case you're getting a bit blinded by the sun. And then we have the driver's light, so that's to light the cabin up a little bit. You've got the horn, and then you've got the retarder, which I'll come back to in a moment. We've got cruise control just there. You can have that on or off, so whatever speed you're doing currently, you put the cruise control on, it'll keep it at that speed. Now it's a little bit fingers and thumbs, because you've got to hold your, like I said, you've got to hold the trigger button to keep accelerating, steer with your left stick, and keep the A button pressed, and change your D-pad up or down to put the cruise control on. So it's a little bit convoluted, but that's realistic for you. I think they are looking at putting that on a dedicated button, from what I remember from the first patch that we're going to get, so that should simplify the cruise control a little bit. We've then got air conditioning. Now, don't make my mistake. When I first started playing this game, I was just simply setting the temperature, because that's what I do in my car. My car's got an automatic, like a climate control, and whatever I set the temperature to, it will turn the aircon on or off, dependent on what it thinks it needs. And I was kind of blindly assuming that this played the same, but it doesn't. You have to actually turn the air conditioning on before, well, either before or after, but you need to make sure you do both. Turn the air conditioning on and set the temperature. Now, some of the passengers will tell you whether it's too hot, too cold, and I was getting a message on the left side of the screen saying AC too cold. Well, that's what I was assuming, because it said too cold, T-O, to, not too. And I was sort of saying that TML need to pull the finger out, get a better spell checker, because it should have another O, because I was assuming it was the passengers telling me it was too cold, but no. After listening to people's comments and different things, it's actually the game telling me that the aircon's too cold. Sorry, telling me to put the aircon to cold, not the aircon's too cold, but to put the aircon to cold, because I'd got it set too hot. Because I'm thinking passengers are saying it's too cold, and I'm turning the temperature up. You see, I'm having it up, like right up to 27 degrees, and I keep getting this message up saying aircon too cold. And I'm thinking, why are they still complaining? Surely they can't be too cold at 27 degrees centigrade. But it wasn't that. It was the game telling me to turn it down. So that's what you need to be doing. So yeah, a little mistake on my part there on previous videos. Now back to retarder. What retarder is? It's a kind of, it works similar to an engine brake. So you know, like when you accelerate and the vehicle goes faster, and when you come off the accelerator pedal, the vehicle will start to slow down on its own without even pressing the brakes, and that is called engine braking. It's using the engine to slow the vehicle down. Now, what a retarder is it's a kind of brake which will come on. It works slightly differently on different vehicles, I think, and also on different games as well, if you play different bus sims, for example. But it basically helps to slow the vehicle down. So like if you're going down a hill, a steep hill, for example, it will help to stop the vehicle from going too fast, even without you having to put the foot brake on. So that's what the retarder is. It just helps to slow the vehicle down when you need it. And you can turn that on or off. So I'll leave it on for now. So that's all that lot, and then you have another one. I pressed the cross on the Xbox, which will be square on the PS, and here you can change the doors, you can raise and lower the different parts of the vehicle, and you can set the turn the kitchen on, you can turn the Wi-Fi on, there's WC, there is passenger monitors, which I've not really noticed those come on, to be honest. They don't seem to be working for me. I don't know if it's coach dependent, but so here's where you can actually open and close your luggage hatches, and here's where you can put the destination display, which will turn on. So as you can see now, that says Essen, because that's where we're off to. Here we have the announcement, which I'll not turn on because it'll be talking over me. So that's announcements to the passengers. It's quite good actually, works quite well. but I'm not going to do it just now. Have a play around with it. Navigation monitor, so that's I'm assuming that's, yeah, wasn't that navigation monitor? I thought was this thing in the bottom right corner, but it didn't appear to want to turn off for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I think that's it. I'm sure somebody will put me right if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem to want to turn off anyway, does it? It's still there, so unless it's the one, is it the one in the vehicle? I don't. Let's just actually start the vehicle, and let's go back to that. And I'm looking at the one that's, yes, that's the dashboard one down there. Okay, I thought it was something to do with the sat nav, but yeah, it's not the inside. It's not the digital display. It's the dashboard display that we're looking at. So that turns that on or off. Okay, so that's that. And then the last two, which I just flicked off, are the reading lights and the passenger compartment lights as well. So you've got all those available. Now there is something else just to show you before we move off. If you press the triangle or the Y button, then that will bring this menu up, and you can have some digital mirrors. You can turn the right one on, the left one on, or you can have just one or the other on, or turn them both off. And if you press A, you can actually adjust your seat position as well. Now I find the height's fine. I find I just want to come back sometimes, so just make the field of view a little bit wider like that, just so I can see this. Well, on some vehicles it's not so bad in this one, but on some vehicles that left mirror is further round to the left. The actual mirror on the outside of the coach I'm talking about, not the digital one. And so I like to sit further back, so that brings that into view, because I don't like to have, as I said, these digital mirrors activated. I like to try and be as realistic as I possibly can. So that's all that anyway. But apparently I was complaining that the seat keeps resetting itself, and apparently somebody commented that Fabian had said from Aerosoft, I think he's from Aerosoft, not TML, that they'd done that on purpose, because if you think about it, in reality, if you get into a bus to drive it, that bus will have been driven by somebody else prior to you, and they may be taller, shorter than you, so you will adjust your seat and everything like that to suit you. So it's basically, I suppose, it's making it more realistic, and apparently there's no plans to change that either. So we're stuck with having to change the position if you need to every time you get into a coach. So that's all that lot. Just at the top we have a little HUD at the top, which gives us our current speed, the current time, where we are at the moment, and then the arrival of where we want to go to, which is 1623, and we're at 1619, so we need to crack on with it. So let me come out of this menu by pressing Y. Actually, if you press B, that gets rid of that little HUD at the top, so don't press that. Press Y or triangle on the PlayStation. I'm just thinking we need to close the doors, and we need to get into drive as well, which I'm forgetting. Oh, and the parking brake as well, which I didn't do. Just with all the talking I'm doing. There we go. That should be better. Right, can we go now? We can. Right, let's wait for this gate to open. Oops, come to the wrong bit. I was thinking the gate was here. I've not actually done this on Euro Truck, to be honest. Gate's going to close again now, isn't it? Right, let's get back into drive. To wait for the bloody gate to open again, yeah. Okay, let's edge forward. And that lorry's waiting, looks like it, so we're going to the right, aren't we? Oh, going left here. And one thing I've noticed, if you brake to a stop and then let go of the brake, it does have a little bit of creep on the vehicle, so you're going to have to put your brake on for a few seconds to make sure it's absolutely stopped. And we've got another red light. It's amazing how many red lights you can come up against. I would say that probably red lights account for 80%, I would reckon now, of, you know, like 80-20, red compared to green. Let's have a little look outside. Now this is something I've noticed quite a lot. I mentioned this in another video, I think, but I'll just give it a quick mention that sometimes when you come out of the coast to get an outside view, you're further away than this. This is quite close. It doesn't really give you a decent view, I don't think. So, and it tends to be like throughout that particular time you're doing a route. A bit awkward junction, isn't it? I'm going. Yeah, so if I chose a different route, the outside camera would be further away. Because if I do it now, it's still in the same position. It's not changed. So a little bit of a bug there, but they are looking at sorting that out in the latest patch. We could actually try bringing the blind down, couldn't we? Let's have a look at us. It's the wrong one, isn't it? I think. That's the blind, isn't it? There we go. We can't see the lights though, can we? That's the only trouble when you bring the blind down. So I suppose it's a bit like the real thing. Very similar thing. And we are turning left here. And I can't see my mirror either, I've just noticed, so I'm going to have to raise that blind back up again. So yeah, just like the real world, it's a bit difficult driving whilst the sun is low in the sky. Is it our turn? Can we have a turn, please? Pretty please. Ah, thank you. Got to get these passengers picked up. We're running late already. Oops, a little bit of curb there. Just have a quick look here. We're looking all right. Unless he crosses my path. No, he's gone straight on. And here's our bus stop, so we need to quickly get out and pick these passengers up. But I am going to have to explain about one or two things here as well. So anyway, let's get back into neutral. I'll leave the engine running. Let's get the parking brake on, turn the ignition off, and let's get these doors open. So first thing you want to do is get the hatch unlocked, because if anybody's got luggage, like this lady, sorry, the gentleman here, I couldn't see with the sun, then you need to allow them to put the luggage in. So that's basically, in fact what I'll do, I'm going to get back in the coach and I'm going to turn the engine off. It'll just make it a little bit quieter while I'm talking. So, right, so to check people in, you walk up to them till you get that message in the bottom left corner and you press the A button and you will get this mobile phone crop up. Now, you need to press on the A button to log in. And now, this is something that I didn't notice when I first started playing the game. My focus at the moment is on that big red cross with the B button and the big green tick with the A button. And I never even noticed that blue cross button icon in the far bottom right corner next to where it says express check-in. Just never noticed it at all. Or if I did notice it, it never kind of registered what it was for. So I just kept pressing A to log people in, which did work, but you've got to check people's names and the destinations against this list on the left, which you've got. Well, apparently, what I learned through some people's comments and having a chat with one or two people, is that if you press cross, you then get this QR code comes up, and if you press and hold cross, square on the PS5 again, that will check them in automatically. And the problem is, if you check somebody in wrongly and they're not going where you're going, you will get minus XP for it. But the express check-in basically does it for you. So if they're not supposed to be going where they're going, then it won't allow them to go and you don't lose any XP. If they are going where you are heading, then you do get the XP. So it's all done automatically for you, which is a really good way of doing it. Now, again, what I didn't realise here, again, because my focus is on those two big, the big red cross and the big green tick, I wasn't noticing that at the side of that QR code, at the top left of this paper ticket, is another cross button, and I just never noticed these things. It doesn't tell you in the tutorial part. Usually the bottom left of the screen you get like a little tutorial thing comes up, and it just doesn't tell you this information. So anyway, we're going to press cross and hold it, and that's automatically checked that person in. And we'll do the same with this lady, so she's an express check-in as well. So, I mean, obviously, these people that are holding the... when you get this particular screen on the right, that's obviously their mobile phone, what they're holding up. So that's kind of simulating their mobile phone. Whereas this person has printed out a paper ticket, or had a paper ticket printed out from somewhere. And that's the difference in the two different types of ticket there. There's also a third one where you'll have to sort it out yourself. Now you see she's been rejected, just realised, so she's been automatically rejected. But we shouldn't lose any XP because we did it on the Express. So again, click and hold, and he's already automatically checked in. And the same with this guy, he's an Express check-in anyway, so we just press and hold. And we'll sort this guy out. Now he wants to buy a ticket, and he wants to travel to Essen, which is where we're going, so you just need to remember where you're heading and make sure that you only sell them a ticket for where you're actually going, because we're obviously not travelling anywhere else, are we? So there's no point offering them a ticket for Dijon, say, if we're not heading there. So we're going to Essen, and we press the cross button, and then they get a QR code. Now at this point, you see, again, this is where it's a little bit confusing. There's no X button to press. You can't press an X button on that and read the QR code. You just press the A button for the green tick at the bottom, and you have to do that twice, and that checks them in. Or at least that's what I can gather anyway. So it is slightly convoluted, to be honest, if you ask me. But anyway, that's the general method. This lady, just press the X and press and hold. So you're pressing the X or the square button first, and then pressing it a second time and holding it until the QR's being read. You see he's being rejected automatically by the Express check-in, and that guy's been accepted, and we've now got this last person, and so he's got a paper ticket. But again, if we press and hold the X, now you see, unlike the phone one, we don't have to press the X and then press and hold it. On the paper ticket, you just press and hold it. So it's all a little bit different, but now you know, you should be able to sort it out all right. So that's everybody checked in. They've got two kind of no entry signs above the heads, meaning that they've been rejected. They're not travelling with us today. So we get back on the coach. We've got all the passengers in there, look, and we can get sat back in the seat, and we can now close all our doors. Not by pressing that one. Oops, I'll tell you what we haven't done. Or have we? Have we closed the hatch? I can't remember now. Did I actually close the suitcase hatch? No, I haven't. But we could have done that from inside the coach, but I like to get out and do it. There we go. Right, that's that sorted. We need to close the door again. Okay. Now I need to start the engine. Now what it's a good thing to do at this point is go through all these and turn them on, because you get extra XP for it. Now I normally have dipped headlights on, not high beam, obviously, unless I'm out in the dark in the countryside. We don't need the indicators, we don't need the hazards. We do need the parking brake off. We don't need the wipers. Well, you can have your window open if you like. We don't need the blind, not the horn. I will put the retard on, and the aircon is on, and I'm going to set it to 21 and see how we go at that. So that's that one, and then you go into this one, and we can turn on the kitchen, the Wi-Fi, the WC. We can have the announcement, which I will not bother at the moment, because I need to be talking. Destination display is already on. Oh, sorry, that's the announcement, isn't it? That was the passenger monitors. Yeah, that's the monitors, which I've never seemed to have got working for some strange reason. Yep, got that sorted out. We will put the reading lights on, and we will leave them off. Okay, so that's everything sorted out. So I think we're now ready to go. So let's get on our way. Now it says at the top left 16:33, and we should have left at 16:25, so we are a bit late. Now if you set off early, apparently setting off early, in my experience, doesn't deduct any XP points. Being late will, but not setting off too early. So don't be too afraid. It says there the Wi-Fi is malfunctioning. Now how we get that sorted out, I, to be honest, don't know at this stage. I've never had a rest period or anything like that in this game. I don't know much about that side of things at all. I'm only talking about what I actually know. So whereabouts are we going here? Sat-nav seemed to show both ways, which was a bit odd. We've only got 21 kilometres to go anyway. So yeah, you won't get deducted for setting off early, but you will get deducted points for setting off too late and arriving too late. So we will have to see how we go on that. Now, what's my thoughts on the game in its current state then? Well, I've had a few comments actually saying that what I've said about the game has already convinced them to buy the game. Now, I hope they don't come back complaining and sort of asking me for a refund after all this. But no, I can only state what I think after playing the game. And the game, for anybody that wants to hear it now and then bobby off, the game is, in my opinion, well worth it, even with the bugs that it has. It's not a game breaker, the bugs that's in the game. They are just things that need sorting out. Unlike on the road, which, as I've said before on I think numerous occasions now, I asked for a refund because I thought that was diabolical when it first came out. But this game isn't diabolical. It is a good game on the whole, and I'm tremendously sort of excited about it, excited for it. I love playing it. I think it's a really good game. I keep referring to Euro Truck Simulator 2 because there are lots of similarities, and I enjoy playing this as much as I do Euro Truck Simulator 2, if I'm honest. Now, the negatives, yeah, okay, let's go through some of the negatives then. So I find that the menu is a little bit convoluted sometimes. I just think that the menu system could be cleaned up a little bit. It's not always straightforward what you're supposed to be doing. As I've pointed out with checking people in, you seem to have to do one thing for one type of ticket, but then you do something different for another type of ticket, and it's just a little bit too convoluted. I think it could be made that little bit easier. Graphics wise, you may have noticed already that there are some anomalies. There is, we may not see much today, but if you get on an open road like a motorway, there is some pop in and pop out. You get some anomalies on the road surface as well, on the ground generally, like the shading will change back and forth, light and dark, and You'll get flickering here and there and things like that. I mean, I'll be honest, it doesn't look too bad on this particular run, but yeah, there are some graphical things there. On a plus note about the graphics, I think the graphics actually, on the whole, look very, very good. I'm really pleased with how the actual buildings look and all the street furniture and everything like that, the models of the coaches and everything. I think all that looks absolutely spot on. It's brilliant. It's just little things like the shading and the flickering here and there and the pop in and pop out, as I said, which is the problem. I did have one issue once where I thought I'd hit something, and I went to the external camera because my coach was like leaning to one side, and when I went to the external camera, one side of the coach was actually up in the air, but there was nothing there, absolutely nothing there. It was just literally like James Bond style, driving along on 2 wheels, or 3 wheels perhaps, depending on how many wheels it's got. And it was a really odd situation, but yeah, so there are little bits and bobs like that in the game, but like I said, there's nothing game breaking about it. So if you are thinking of getting the game, then my advice, if you want to wait and see what the patches bring and stuff like that. But the game is playable now. As you can see, I'm playing the game, and there's not a lot going wrong with it. The graphics up to now are behaving themselves, to be fair. It's generally a 60 FPS. It is in 4K, although you'll only be seeing it in 1080p because that's all I'm recording it in. So yeah, you've got a sign over there, look, which is scrolling up. So there's some nice little touches in like that. So getting that message for the Wi-Fi malfunctioning again. Now, we're turning right here, aren't we? Let's have a look in my right-hand mirror, and we're clear. So let's. Now you see that there was a sudden lighter shade came up then, just at that roundabout. You can see it a little bit on here. The shading is just changing a little bit here and there. So just little things, but again, it's not. Oops, we need to be over here, don't we? It's not game-changing stuff in any way, shape, or form. So the inside of the cockpit all looks nice, All that looks good. The modelling of the buses, like I said, is all very nice and crisp and clean. It's really good. Now there are one or two issues with regards to the map. I can't remember that I mentioned earlier now, to be honest, but in the map, there's certain areas of the map that apparently are kind of no-go areas at the moment. So we're talking around Paris and the... Oops, I need to go right there, don't I? Bummer. I didn't notice that. Again, it's with... I'm concentrating on what I'm trying to tell you guys. Oh, we're going round the roundabout now. Where's it taking us here then? Okay, let's get round this roundabout then. Are you stopping? No, you're going, aren't you? Give your back end plenty of space. Oops, and my front end. There's the bus stop on the other side of the road. I'm wondering if that's why. Oh no, it's wanted to go left again. We should have turned into here, right, okay. That was my mistake then, probably. Now we're going all the way around, and the bus stops here. That's great. So yeah, if you apparently if you go around the Paris area or Luxembourg area, there are some issues going off around there, like invisible walls which you just crash up against, or buildings in the middle of the street. I heard one on one of the entrances to Paris. So yeah, that wants sorting out. I've heard the best areas of the map without much issues are northern areas of the map, eastern areas and southern areas like southern France, but keep away from Paris and Luxembourg and probably anywhere in between. That seems to be the dodgy area of the map. So yeah, I think that's about it. Let's just get these guys finished off then. So let's get the doors open. And we will get it into neutral, get the engine off, and we will go into, we'll get the parking brake on, and let's just make sure everybody's sorted. They've all got the luggage, so that's all that sorted. To be honest, I don't know really whether we have to undo that for them to get the luggage out. I don't know. Let's get sat back in the... Oh, I'll tell you what I should have done before I set off, and I do this a lot of times. However, I'm betting that I still get my XP. So where it says log out, I should have pressed the start ride button. So I should have pressed my menu button, and you'd have got your mobile phone up, and you will have start ride at the bottom where it says log out, and then it logs you in. Basically, you start your ride, and it logs what time you set off and everything like that, and then you log out when you've dropped all your passengers off. Now, I must admit, I forever keep forgetting to start the ride as such on the phone, but I bet that I get my XP when I log out, so let's see if I do. There we go, and here we are. I've got my XP. Now, I may be lacking some. I've only got 164. Having said that was really a short run, but economy-wise, they're all green. Checked in, sold invalid tickets, none, and contact with Central. You see, I didn't get anything for that because I didn't contact Central, so that's probably where the start ride bit comes in. Refueling, I got a +5 for that, even though I didn't do any. I didn't run out of fuel either. Service, plus on the schedule, yeah, I knew I won't be on schedule, so I've got a big red cross for that and 0 points, although I didn't lose points. And then I've got +5s and zeros as well, all on that. Traffic rules got mostly green, or all green, and driving behaviour, driven on the road. I wouldn't have said I drove off the road 46.5%, but there you go. Speeding limits maintain 84%, and safety distance broken, just the 1. So yeah, 164 XP. And just to explain this at the bottom, because this confuses people a little bit as well, the current is... basically, it's not what you currently have in the game. This current is what you are getting for this session. So that's 164 XP I've gained on this session. The total is what you have got in the game. So I have now got 3,310 XP. So if I continue that, that will bring us out of that, and we're back into the sort of kind of menu area for the map area. So there you go, guys. I hope that was it. I've given my my few thoughts. If you are thinking of getting the game, I can only say if you're still a bit unsure, then leave it a bit. You know, leave it a bit. I'll do another video when the first patch comes out, and let's see what's changed on that. Check back in and see what you think then. But if you think you've seen enough, then go ahead and buy the game. I would, you know, I'd advise that if you're on the fence, sit and wait. If I've managed to convince you a little bit, then go out and get it, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's not without its bugs. It has got some bugs, but they are looking at being sorted out, and it, you know, really it can only get better, can't it? So and it's not bad to start with. It's totally playable. There's nothing game breaking apart from those areas of the map I suggested, but there's nothing stopping you playing the game whatsoever. So I certainly think, you know, for when you look at some AAA games and they're costing that, like nowadays, they're 60 and 70 quid, and I think this was 30 quid or 32 quid or something like that. You know, I would say it's well worth 30 quid, 30 odd quid. So so that's my thoughts, that's my opinions. You can agree with them or disagree with them, but put them down in the comments. Please give the video a thumbs up, guys, and please subscribe to the channel to all to help grow the channel. Click that notification bell, and we will see you on the next video. So thanks again, and we will catch you later. Bye for now.